Hello everyone and welcome back to Jacqs and thank you for joining me for day one of our crafty birthday countdown. Today we will be starting out with something easy because I thought that would be the best way to get started on getting back my crafty mojo, and we will be creating pinwheels. And I have a project share as well as a tutorial. I hope you'll stick around because there is a new design that I created, or at least it's new to me. All right, let's get started. I've been wanting to create pinwheels for a long time and I finally did it. So here are some of the ones that I've created. I am really loving this little mini one that I did, and here's some other ones. This one here has round edges, but I really didn't care for that. I kind of like the sharper edges. It's more like a pinwheel. And I even have a new design. So in this video, I'll be showing you 3 ways to create a pinwheel. So let's get started. To create your pinwheel, the first thing you're going to need is some double-sided decorative paper. I'm using this as an example. You can use single-sided decorative paper, however, you will have more white showing, and it's kind of nice to have the 2 different types of pattern from a double-sided piece of decorative paper such as this. After you've chosen your decorative paper, the next thing you need to decide is what size do you want to use. It can be any size that you want, it just needs to be squared. And when I say that, it means it has to be 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, or 2 by 2, or 1 by 1, 8 by 8, however big or small you want your pinwheel to be. You just need to square off the measurements for that. So the next thing you need to do is find the center. You can do that by guesstimating where it might be, let's say here. You could also use a ruler to be specific about where it is, or you can take your paper and you can fold it in half long ways. Undo it, fold it up the other way, and this will help you find the center. The way that I like to do it is by using a scoreboard. I just think this makes it a lot easier, and you can see the lines to make the cut marks. So this is a 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 size piece of paper. I am only using a single-sided decorative piece, and I'm going to just stick it here into any of the score marks. It doesn't matter where, just make sure you line up the point and the bottom point all in the same line, and then score. You take that and you turn it to the next point. Again, making sure it aligns, that everything is in the same score line, and score. So what this does is help you find your center as well. So you can see more on the back side here. So now that you see your center, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut up from the single point. You're going to cut up almost like to 1/4 of an inch of the center. So that's about a 1/4 of an inch. And you're going to go to your next point and cut in all the way up to about a 1/4 of an inch. Now this is where I guesstimate. You can be more specific if you want by using your ruler. So now we have all of our points cut. The next thing we're going to do is create our petals for the pinwheel. Now when we pull, we're going to be pulling the paper over, and we need to adhere them in the center. You can do that a couple ways. You can use those glue dots. You could use an adhesive runner and put that in the center and bend your paper down over it. You could use a hot glue gun if you want, and you can even just use regular adhesive. This is our glitter glue. So pick any corner, and we're going to fold this over, and we're going to align the point to the center of the square. Now you can keep them where they're not flat, but I'm going to flatten this one out. So what we do then, this was one petal. We go to the next one. We fold this to the center. So we're keeping one edge straight along the line that we made, the score line, bringing the point to the center and burnishing. And now we have our pinwheel. So I'm going to go ahead and add some glue down here underneath it, kind of right here in the center. And I'm going to hold it for just a moment. Now, a while back I bought these paper straws at Target, I believe, and there are 24 in this. It is 7 by 3/4 of an inch long. What I did was I took that and I cut it in half. And I'm going to use one of these to create the stem of the pinwheel. Now, what I found the best way to do is actually use my golden scissors here. I'm going to take about maybe 1/2 inch and push down to where I'm flattening out the straw, just the end. What I typically do is once I have the little fins already in, I kind of decide which way that I want the pinwheel to look. And I kind of want it this way, where the white is up at the top left and the stars here are corresponding. So in this case, I'm going to use some hot glue on here. And I'm going to add the pinwheel, hopefully in the center. Just hold that down for a moment. Now, once that is kind of cool, what I usually do is take a 1-inch punch out the coordinating paper, and I match it and put it on the back. You don't have to do that. I just feel like it's complete doing that. It's just a little bit prettier to look at. Now we're going to do some decorating. I'm using Sweet Freedom by Pink Paisley. That was also the paper that I'm using. And I'm going to use these stars. And I don't know if you've purchased these before, but they are actually paper stars. I didn't know that when I bought them, but I still love them. So I'm going to use one of those from the pack. I have a little flower petal here, I guess that's what you call it. And I have some gold thread that I'm going to be using, if that helps. This got all messed up when I was threading this on my machine. It got all messed up. So I figured the only way to use it is to just bring it out here and keep it at my desk. So I've taken about, I don't know, 12, 13 inches here of the gold thread. I have a hard time getting this down, but I'm wrapping it around my 2 fingers, and I kind of want to put it down first before I put the other items. Next, I think I'm going to adhere the star to the flower petal first and then put the whole thing down. And then here I'm actually going to use hot glue. And put that down in the center. Now, some other things that I did were to add like a pom-pom at the bottom of the stem here. I don't know why I like that, but I do. So let's see. I guess I could put that blue one in there. So what I normally do is just put a little bit of hot glue in there, kind of on the side. And then I shove the little pom-pom in there. Try to get it to go in as far as possible without completely going in, because I don't want it to show that much. It's really just to kind of close it off. Again, closure. Closure is the theme of the day. So there we go. Yeah, I like that. Another thing that we can do is add like a word sentiment to our decorations here. Let's see. What if we could put it right in the center. I like this. It says Land of the Free. It's so small. I don't know if you'll be able to see. But that's kind of cute right there. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to put a little hot glue right here in the center of the star. And add our sentiment. That is super cute. I think I'll trim off the end here. There we go. So this is one way to create a pinwheel. I'm going to show you another way with brads, and then I'm going to show you a new design. To create a pinwheel using a brad closure, that is this in the center here, where you create it a little bit differently. So for this design, I'm going to use this, I believe this is Amy Tangerine Everyday Pad by American Crafts. Yeah, Amy Tangerine, it's sketchbook modified. So I've chosen this piece and I've cut out one that is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and we're going to use this piece to create our pinwheel. I'm going to again use my scoreboard to create my lines for me. Now that we have our lines, which we can definitely see on the back side versus the front, I'm going to cut up again. So we're repeating some of the same steps that we did on the last pinwheel. You use these steps whenever you create a pinwheel. The thing that you do different when you use a brad to create your pinwheel is that you have to create a hole at the top of one of the points. And you're going to do that on every single piece. So you might want to consider these as individual pieces. And so you're going to, I'll show you on the back, that might be easier. Here we go. So you would want to put a dot, say, right there at the top of that point. Well, then you turn this and you're going to do the same in the next triangle. See how there's one dot in this triangle? Now there's one dot in this one, and you kind of repeat that pattern. So we would not only be putting a hole in the middle for the brad to go through, we would also be putting it into the 4 places that we just marked. Okay? Hope you guys understand that. I'm sure you do. So we put a hole here, 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 and here. Now, a way to do that is by using an awl or some other pointy tool. Or what I like to do is use my 1/8 of an inch hole punch. And you can just go in and make a punch. Now, we want to make sure that it's close enough to the tip, but not where it will create a tear when we make our punch. So keep that in mind when you're making your holes. And for the center, it doesn't go in all the way, so I will use my awl for that, and I'm just going to kind of twist this in, and now I have my hole. So here's the brad that I'm using. It's so tiny. Look how little it is. But it's like a little button brad. I love it. My sister got me these. Okay, so what we do now is take our brad, put it in one of the holes. We bring up the next tab that has a hole in it, and you're going to want to turn it to the back side, like you're flipping it over to the center, but we're going to add it to the brad. Do the same thing for the next one. Flip it over and attach it to the brad. And then the last one, again, you flip that over and attach the hole into the brad. This does get a little tricky because the last thing that we want to do once we have all of these 4 petals, I'm calling them, onto the brad is to take the brad itself and push it through to the hole on the bottom. Okay, pushing it through, and then you spread out your brad. And now you have your pinwheel. Now, when you do it this way, you'll notice that your little petals here are fluffy, I guess. They're not flat like our previous ones. You know how we bent that all the way down and made it flat. These will be puffy, which is more like a traditional pinwheel. To decorate this one, or to continue to put it all together, I'm using these cake pop sticks. I got these from Target as well. These are 4 inches. And we'll do the same thing. We will smash down one end. So about a 1/2 inch to maybe 3/4 if you prefer. And let's see, how do we want this on? So I think I'm going to put a little rhinestone in the center just to pull the colors. That's cute. I thought I would add a butterfly from the die cuts at Dollar Tree. These are the Floral Garden ones. I picked out this blue-green because it really matches the slices there. I think I'm going to try and put it on the little wand part here. How cute is that? For this final design, I'm going to use my Mind's Eye, the Splendor 6x6 paper pad, and I cut this down to 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. I'm going to use my scoreboard again, and we're going to make the normal score marks that we do. In addition to that, we're going to move it over to the 0, whichever side yours is on, and we're going to score at 1 3/8. We're going to turn it one time and score at 1 3/8. So now we have a line, like an X, and then like a plus. Now we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to cut from the point to the center and leave about 1/4 of an inch space. Okay, now that we have all of our little sections, there should be 8 in total. Okay, now we're going to take one of our petals fold it over, skip, do the next one, skip, and the next one, skip, and the last one. I'm going to add my glue to make sure these stay down. Okay, so when we do that, it looks just like our regular pinwheels. Now, for the additional piece that I did was actually took one of the petals that are still there, the point on the side. Let me get this glue off my finger. So I started to curl the sides in. So I'm holding it here in the center, but I'm curling the sides, the point and the edge there. Now, if you wanted to, you could try to curl it with your scissors or a pencil. I don't know what will work for you, but this is what I did. I just really did it by hand. You could try. You would just have to be very, very careful because you could rip the paper. Just kind of train it to curl over. And then do the last one. Now I was just playing around with the pinwheels when I came up with this idea, and I really liked the result. So I wanted to share that new design, or at least it's a new design to me. I don't know if this is out there. I haven't seen it anywhere. So it makes it look more fuller. It makes it look fuller and just, you know, a little bit fancier of a pinwheel. So we have all of that together now, so that's what it looks like. I think I'll go ahead and add the center part. I'm going to add a little flower here and a cabochon flower. I think that will be really cute. Let's get some gold. I'm going to add all this before I put the stem on it. So here's a closer look at the 3 pinwheels that we created today. I really love how they turned out, especially this new design. I made one off camera as well, and here is another one. And the last one that we created together. I hope you'll give this a try. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.